Howdy folks, welcome to this week's Ag Report. Today we're at the Texas Department of Agriculture with Assistant Commissioner Dan Hunter. And you may have seen in the past we've tried to give you some updates on the production of hemp in Texas. It has been put into the Farm Bill, it has been passed by the legislature, and we've had some different videos on that. So right now we are waiting on rulemaking process, and so had some time today. I appreciate, Dan, you taking some time to talk with us, share with us about what is happening right now. It's real close to being able to have some rules out. I know that there are producers that are certainly interested in the upcoming 20 growing season about trying to grow that, but most importantly we have to have this rulemaking done first.
We do, and part of this of course goes back to the 2018 Farm Bill, where the Congress passed legislation that allowed for the production of hemp and decriminalized it. And of course everyone's been anticipating and waiting for the federal guidelines to come out, essentially the federal rules and how everything was going to be run as far as the hemp program itself. Those rules were actually finally published, even though we had passed our state law back earlier in the spring in the legislature to allow us to do it here in Texas. We still had to wait for the federal guidelines to come out, because we have essentially two major things we have to do in order for hemp to be grown here in the state of Texas. First is we have to submit a state plan, the Texas state plan, to USDA and have them approve it. And then secondly, we then have to promulgate rules here in the state of Texas that kind of merge the federal program and what the state legislature here in Texas put in. The federal guidelines came out at the end of October. We always said that we had planned to, within 30 days, have our rules ready to go and our state plan ready to go. We have submitted our state plan to USDA, and right now we are waiting for the rules to be published. We've submitted those to the Texas Registry, so middle of December you'll be able to comment on the rules as they're published in the registry, and it'll give the guidelines with regard to what you have to do to get a permit to be able to grow, what you have to do to get licensed to grow, what is that process going to entail. And much of it, if you've had a chance to read the federal guidelines, much of it is encompassed there. I think the key thing that people have to remember about this crop, and more than anything else, and the reason it probably has more oversight and regulatory authority, is that you're dealing with a crop unlike any other we grow in agriculture. Mm-hmm. We can't grow illegal corn, we can't grow illegal cotton, we can grow illegal hemp. And if your crop tests above a certain THC level, it is classified as marijuana, and now becomes a drug enforcement issue. So when we're looking at this, the background checks will be done when you do application for your license, and then you'll have to permit each field that you're growing in with regards to being able to tell us where that field's being grown, because last thing you want is for the sheriff to show up on your door and ask you why you're growing something illegal out there in your backyard. Right. But we want to be able for them to be able to contact us and say, we got a report that John Paul may have some kind of strange crop growing in his field. Right. But we'll be able to say, no, John Paul is a registered hemp grower and have all your ducks in a row. Mm-hmm. And so we're very excited, about the opportunity for this. I continue to tell people to make sure you do your homework, understand the crop. Especially here in Texas, because this is the first time we've grown this in Texas since the 30s.
And you talk about doing your homework, and I want to give y'all credit. I know this doesn't get put out there just a whole lot, but in this waiting time where y'all have been waiting on those rules from USDA, you haven't been sitting on your hands. That's right. Y'all have had a lot of people working in the backgrounds, writing programs, writing applications, and getting all of that ready for that. So I know there's been a lot of people behind the scenes working on things, trying to better prepare things for Texas, for this new crop.
We have, and we have some very dedicated individuals. And once again, this is, we go through some similar processes. If any of you do any pesticide applications, you've probably had a pesticide applicator's license. If you're a structural pest applicator, you have to go through a background check. So we didn't have to reinvent the wheel on some of this stuff. However, once again, we're coordinating. We've spent a great deal of time with our public safety folks, with our law enforcement folks, making sure that they're comfortable with how this crop's going to be monitored and grown. Yeah. And also the other thing is just working with them and saying, once a farmer harvests his crop, what documentation do you want to see to show that when you get pulled over by, a DPS officer, that this is a legal crop.
Right.
And so we've worked with them on figuring out what's going to be the best manifesto bill of ladings to work with them. And then once, of course, it gets to the retail center.
Because that's a new thing, when I harvest my corn, all I have to worry about is my gross weight, and if I'm on a state or federal road and that kind of stuff. So it's a new thing in there.
It is. Someone sees you going down the road with a load of hemp, they could certainly be suspicious. But the other side, so when you look at the timeline, so we'll have, hopefully get our state plan approved within, they have 60 days from the time of application, which was the 1st of December. So they could take up to the end of January to approve our plan. We've spent a great deal of time with the Secretary's office in DC. We feel that the plan we've submitted should not have any issues. And that we feel that they'll turn it around relatively quick. I think, of course, everyone's big concern is you're entering into the holiday season. How is that going to impact the timing? All that being said, we also will have a 30-day comment period once our rules are published. So that rule comment period will close
You don't expect a whole lot of pushback on.
We don't. I mean, I'm sure there'll be. I have no doubt that we didn't think of everything. And we're going to hold a public hearing as well, the first week of January, and that'll be announced soon, the location where that's going to be. So we're excited about it, and then after that 30-day comment period, we'll take about 15 days to finalize the rules, make any changes we need to make based on comments received. Which, if you're doing your calculations here and you're looking at your calendar, that means we'll hopefully be ready to start permitting sometime in February.
Yep.
Or taking applications, I should say, for permitting.
Very good. Well, folks, key points to take away here is do your homework, do your education. Be sure and search out reputable folks to deal with it. Put your home screen button to the TDA website.
That's right.
A lot of information coming there in a short period of time on there. But know that your Texas Department of Agriculture is working diligently to try and have things ready for this 20 growing season on there. And Dan, I really appreciate you taking time to talk with us today. Folks, we appreciate you tuning in. Y'all take care now.
Thank you.